We've got major portal news for Texas Tech men's basketball as they have officially landed an official visit from one of the best transfer portal players in this cycle. Who is it? We'll discuss that. Plus, we'll discuss a primary ball handler target in the portal for the Red Raiders and much, much more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxwell here for the Back to 12 podcast, and y'all know the drill by now. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on everything Texas Tech men's basketball all year long right here on the largest Texas Tech YouTube channel, almost 10,000 strong. 5 digits, people. We're almost there, just about 160 away. Crazy. In my wildest dreams, I did not think that was going to happen. And sincere thank you to all of y'all that have subscribed. And if you haven't already, well, hit that subscribe button. Join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube. And while you're at it, you might as well like the video as well. All right, let's talk about a great player in the portal. 100% pun intended, by the way. Had to get a dad joke in there. We are talking about great Osobor. It's a great last name. 6'8", 250, 1 year of eligibility remaining. And listen, his first name is literally great. He had a great season for the Utah State Aggies. 17 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists. And oh, by the way, he averaged a combined 2.9 blocks and steals per game. He is now scheduled, according to multiple sources within the college basketball industry. I think Jeff Goodman had it first over on Twitter, to visit the 806 on May 4th through the 6th. This is the big fish, people. This is the one. This is the one where if you want Texas Tech to land one guy this portal cycle, this is the guy right here. This is a guy that is a true difference maker, an elevator of a program to really one of those things where there's not too many guys in college basketball, in my opinion, that really can change you from like a first weekend team to a second weekend team. Great is one of those guys. Osobor is one of those dudes, okay? Now, he has visits lined up to Kentucky, Louisville, and Washington. Coach Sprinkle up at Washington coached him at Utah State, also coached him at Montana State. You may remember this guy if you're a Texas Tech fan because, well, he played Texas Tech in the tournament just a couple years ago when Texas Tech went to the Sweet 16. Now, Osobor, according to The Athletic, is the 4th-ranked player in the portal. Not 4th-ranked center, not 4th-ranked front court guy. No, 4th-ranked player, okay? He is a dominant player around the rim. 86% of his field goal attempts come within 5 feet. But he can finish with power, finesse. Don't let that 6'8" fool you, okay? He plays much bigger than that, and he is a true difference maker around the rim. He uses his frame and his footwork. He is so agile for a guy that at his size, again, 6'8", 250, does not move like that whatsoever, okay? He ranked 70th percentile nationally in post-ups. He had a ton of opportunities at Utah State, but he is a legit problem for defenses when it comes to the offensive glass. He had a 10.1% offensive rebounding rate. That is absurd in every sense of the word. Not to mention, you think, okay, so if he's one of those guys that's a post-up player, he must not be able to pass very well. Well, you'd be wrong. 16% assist rate. He is a guy that really you can run your offense through, whether that's in the pick and roll setting, post-up, whatever you want to do. He is a focal point offensively for defenses, and that just opens up everything else for guys around him. I'm having dreams right now of D5 on a pick and roll situation with great, and defenses are just lost. They have no idea what to do because you've got Chance in one corner, you got Kerwin in the other, and then you've got Kevin Overton on the floor as well. I mean, obviously, that's just one particular lineup that could happen if Ah-s-bor came to the 806. But, man, this guy and his film are so much fun to watch, and I'll go a little bit more in depth here when it comes to my take in a second. But on the defensive end, he shines. I mean, he's a guy that's a two-way player in every way of that definition. 4.9% block rate. He can go out on the perimeter and really aggravate guards, whether they're smaller than him or guys out on the perimeter that are bigger that can beat them off the bounce, that are typically in the front court. He is so athletic. And listen, I know I said it earlier. I kind of got ahead of myself. I'm so excited about Great and his potential to land in the 806. This is easily the top priority for the Red Raiders. Simple and plain. There's no debate about it. He's a true instant impact player and a guy that when he steps foot on campus would be in the preseason all Big 12 mix. He's that type of guy. And I mentioned it in the sense of he's the guy that elevates your team from a first weekend to a second team or a second weekend, excuse me. I truly mean that. He is a true difference maker and he will want a sizable NIL bag. Let's not get it twisted. This man is going to want to get paid and he's worth it. He is arguably the best player in the portal, not just best big, arguably the best player in the portal. And he officially will visit the 806 the weekend of Cinco de Mayo. Show him a good time out there, Lubbock, Texas. Show him a good time. All right. Let's talk about a primary ball handler target in the portal for the Red Raiders. There's been quite a bit of these guys. And this one is a really interesting one from the standpoint. He is, again, a smaller guard, but man, his assist rate is a number that I frankly haven't seen when scouting any other guard that Texas Tech has shown interest in, even just a little bit. We're talking about Elijah Hawkins from Minnesota, a 5'11", 165-pound guard, 1 year of eligibility remaining, originally from Washington, D.C. For the Golden Gophers last year, he averaged 9.5 points, 3.6 rebounds, wait for it, 7.5 assists per game, and shot 36.4% from three. His size does not really impact him in terms of his finishing ability around the rim. He's a really good finisher with touch and can do it with either hand. So that's something that stood out. Now, shooting-wise, he's a little bit better when it comes to the left side of the floor. Some of these guys that we've broken down their film for here on the channel in terms of portal targets for the Red Raiders, he's kind of the same in that regard in terms of shooting better from one side of the floor. His side is the left side, and he shoots 43% from that side. Now, I mentioned 7.5 assists per game and an assist rate that I just haven't seen from any other portal target for the Red Raiders. Hawkins had a 38% assist rate last year at Minnesota. Let me repeat that. A staggering 38% assist rate. He's an elite passer. He's super patient in the pick and roll, and he ranked 45th percentile in the pick and roll as the ball screen handler. But watching it, I don't think he was used all that well up there in Minnesota. And I think when it comes down to it in terms of the interest for the Red Raiders, I think he'd be a great lead guard. This is a guy that comes in and is your starting point guard right away, in my opinion, and a guy that I think can improve dramatically in a Grant McCaslin pick and roll heavy offense, because I think he's going to be put in a better situation with better screeners, better spacing, better pace, and all that good stuff when it comes to pick and roll. He's a guy that I would watch out for, and is a name that the Texas Tech Red Raiders have reached out to in the portal. So, of course, we're going to talk about him here on the channel. And for anybody else that Texas Tech reaches out to in the portal, we're going to talk about him here on the channel. But the big news in this one is Great is on an official visit. Well, at least set up for an official visit to the 806. Arguably the best player in this portal cycle, not center. Overall best player will take an official visit to Texas Tech the weekend of Cinco de Mayo, May 4th through the 6th. And he's the big fish for the Red Raiders. And if they can land him, that is an absolute game changer. And speaking of game changer, the Back to 12 podcast is a game changer because there's no other Texas Tech YouTube channel giving you daily updates on everything in the portal for Texas Tech men's basketball. And oh, by the way, we're not just here during basketball season. We got you covered during football too. I know spring camp just happened. We'll talk about it here in just a little bit with all this portal stuff going on. That's the primary objective for the channel. But don't get it twisted. When football season comes around here in the summer, I'm going to keep you up to date and do position previews and everything else. So do 3 simple steps for me. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube. Almost 10,000 strong today, right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.